Recording in Audacity, I guess, fucker. God damn it.
Okay, you gotta stop talking so I can also say recording in Audacity, otherwise I can't line things up, which you don't care about because you're not the one doing the editing this week, and you're making me suffer just because I picked a classic of dog movies.
I have a question. I'm raising my hand. I have a fucking question.
Hey, welcome to Rough Cuts. Okay, yes. I'm not listening to there are no questions this time. What's the question?
Why did we watch a Christmas movie? You son of a bitch. You motherfucker.
Because it looked really funny bad to put you through. And it was hilariously bad. As in, like, God, I wanted to put fucking knives in my eyes. The problem is, I realized that by doing this, I had to also watch it with you.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Am I forgetting anything?
What fun it is to ride in.
We are the three Dogateers. We protect this castle and everything in it with our lives.
It's an unauthorized invasion of the castle.
Get a load of all these presents.
Should we bark?
That would be foolish considering you are a 5-pound lapdog with a silly hairdo.
Dogateers, we cannot let them get away. Don't move. It can't see us if we don't move.
How much trouble could the dogs get into anyway? They're just little dogs.
Bingo. Hit the gas pedal.
Santa help us save Christmas?
Just where are we going to find this man in red pajamas?
What are you little dogs doing here all alone?
Oh, I know.
Is this you guys? And that's all your stuff? Well, I guess it's up to Santa to get you boys home. Ho, ho, ho!
What do you call Santa when he takes a break? Santa Paws.
Hi, this is Rough Cuts. It's a podcast about good boys and bad movies.
So mad.
Where we watch a bad dog movie and then immediately talk about it and review it. And then review the dogs, most importantly.
Yeah.
I'm Ilian. This is Boix.
I'm Boix, I guess. Ugh.
Hey, I was nice. I didn't subject somebody like Ty Tuesday to this from last week. We need to get a guest on for one of the real episodes. This is the thing. When we bring guests on, we give them, like, softballs. We need to bring somebody on and just give them the real shit.
So, this movie's called The Three Dogateers. Or The Three Dogateers Save Christmas. To the point where, at the end, when they do the title again, they edited the title so it said The Three Dogateers, and then they cut off the Saves Christmas. But they didn't cut it off properly, so you can still see the top of a T.
Well, they cropped it, is what they did. They cropped
they just fucking cropped it.
And then they didn't bother to be like, oh, fuck, we didn't quite get all of the words from, all of the, like, letters from Christmas. Should we, like, use an eraser on that in Photoshop? That's too much effort for this movie.
2 seconds in Photoshop? They can't even do that.
Too much effort.
I was looking at some reviews. By the way, this is actually rated the same as Fist of the North Star on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fuck that.
Which I think is very funny. People do complain about Rotten Tomatoes reviews, but they don't really understand what the review means.
Mm.
And it's a collection of reviews and then averaged.
Well, it's also it's the other part of it. Really, really quickly. Sorry, is that it's not just average. What it is it is a binary yes no, and it's a percentage of yes nos. So what that means,
there's no middle ground.
Yeah, exactly. Is somebody can go like, I don't really recommend this, and have 100 of those and like 50 yeses, and then it's like, oh, this movie's shit. And then you can have 100 people go, oh my god, this is a gigantic steaming pile of shit, and 50 people go, I don't know, I guess I can kind of put up with it. And it's like, they're the same reviews. That's the same score.
It's good for really young children. That means I should upvote it.
Yeah.
But this movie has some 5 out of 5s, which I think is why it's as high as Fist of the North Star. And I also think Fist of the North Star is really down because people are just really shitty about anime movies in general when they're live action.
Yeah, that's gonna also be just because like people that really like the anime are mad that it's
But 5 out of 5, an instant cult classic. Yeah? How do you feel about that one? I'm looking at your face and it's not good. All right, well here's another 5 out of 5.
Just automatic reaction from the start of this film. Let me just give
True. The revulsion we felt.
We instantly started going like within 5 seconds of this movie starting.
This movie, a 3 out of 3 for 3 Dogateers, quote unquote. This movie cured my leukemia and gave me a hard-on.
Gee, I feel like that one might not be sincere. I don't know why.
I don't know. This movie might actually, put their leukemia into remission. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Why? Because God's cruel and won't let them die after watching this?
And then another one I watched, read through these reviews. I didn't watch anything. I'm not going to watch more of this. It was somebody who was watching all of Dean Cain's Christmas movies. All of them. And they were really fucking mad.
Yeah.
They had to watch all of Dean Cain's 14 Christmas movies.
Yup.
And they said that this one was the best Dean Cain Christmas movie of the list.
We've seen a Dean Cain Christmas movie, I'm sure.
We watched The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation. It was also with 2 other Dog Who Saved movies. Right. And then there's also The Dog Who Saved Christmas, I think we might have watched, which had an alternate title.
Yeah, okay, The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation is definitely better than this.
I mean, it's formulaic. It has to be better in some way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, so here's a quick thing about formulaic movies and, like, media in general, right? Mm-hmm. People will complain, like, oh man, it's so trite, it's just the same formula. Which is kind of valid, but also, have you ever seen a movie that just says, fuck all formulas? Because it's not better. It's not better.
Alright. Hey,
formulas exist for a reason.
Remember the time the 3 Dogateers took a shit in a van?
Yes.
Is this anything? Is this a joke? Did we write a movie? Oh god, I'm panicking.
Do you remember when they took a shit in the van so hard that it made the dog catcher scream, and so then it was heard by the space aliens who then also shit their pants?
I do remember when the aliens took a shit, and it was very funny. It was the funniest thing. That other review
that was movie, actually kind of one of the... God, that's
movie,
so bad.
This movie has, like, 1 or 2 funny moments, and it's not on purpose, I feel. Maybe the Santa one was on purpose as a joke. Maybe. And maybe the dog cooking show. Maybe.
The dog cooking show and Santa were on purpose. The aliens were on purpose, but it was only funny because of how fucking terrible it was.
Yeah. Because it's so bad.
It's so bad that it loops... It
loops back around.
Yes, it has a Stack Overflow error, and it's like, holy shit, wait, this is actually kind of funny.
Alright, I have a pop quiz for you before we get into this movie more.
Oh no, are you going to ask me for the dogs' names?
No. This movie had DVD releases and streaming releases. Mm-hmm. It was actually released in the UK first, and then the Netherlands, before eventually getting to the States. But, here's a fun fact. It also had a box office release. which means we know how much money it made in a box office.
Where did it get a box office release?
Probably in the States. I didn't see a location.
Okay.
Everywhere else said DVD release. Because that's where it released first. So how much money do you think this movie made in the box office? From what we watched. And the audience doesn't know what we watched.
No, I know.
It was shit. I know it was garbage.
Yeah, you know that it's garbage after you go into it. Although, honestly, you should know from the minute that you just see the title or anything about
anything.
Yeah. The minute you see Dean Cain, you should be like, oh, yeah, okay. Gigantic pile of shit. And the movie's there, too.
The movie, yeah.
Where else would I be but home? So I'm at home, and I'm just calling to say I cannot wait to see you when you get home, because that's where you'll find me, honey. I'll be home. Okay, that's it. I just want to say hi, and I'm home, and I love you. Bye. What's wrong with me?
You're Dean Cain.
Well, you're Dean Cain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna... Oh, God. 20,000. I feel like I'm going pretty high. I feel like I'm going pretty high on that one. 20,000's pretty high for this. You gotta... We've seen worse box office.
I have bad news. This movie made $3 million at the box office.
Fuck you.
That is the reported income.
Fuck no. What?
Yeah.
Anyone can make a movie. And children, follow your dreams. Just make a fucking movie. Just make a film. Just do it. Just have fun.
The caveat to that is I don't know how much they spent. But
there's no way they spent any fucking money on this goddamn piece of shit. Come on. Get out of here. You know how much money they spent on this. You know how much money they spent on this. And it wasn't anywhere fucking close to $1 million.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see.
It was like $20,000. Well, okay, they've got some CG. The CG's terrible.
They went to actual
2014, right?
Locations, right? I mean, this was 2014. Yeah.
Okay, then there's probably it's probably got a 6-figure budget.
Let me see.
Just because of the CG.
I'm looking. I'm doing this live. That's
like
how
the
prepared.
CG is bad. Let me just cut in us vomiting at the beginning of this movie again.
Oh my god, it was awful.
They show the dogs to explain.
I don't think they reported the budget.
Probably
by the
not.
way, I don't think it's reported. I can't find it. So
the start of this movie, the opener, is 3 dogs sitting there and talking, and it's the worst CG, mouth flapping. It looks like the South Park Canadians, right? Just the bouncing head, basically.
They only animated the bottom jaw.
Yes.
And the top jaw has no teeth and it's just gums.
Yes. And the bottom row is really, really plasticky and weird looking.
It doesn't match the dog that it's on.
No, not even close. And it's especially jarring and obvious when they have the dog sitting there and going and panting with its tongue out. And then they have it talk. So it's very real, non-CG mouth suddenly turns to weird plastic and starts flapping. And it's fucking sickening. It is actually gross. It's kind of hard to watch.
Rough. The thing, a lot of these movies, I don't want to give too much credit to Air Bud Entertainment, but
yeah,
at least the dogs don't look bored in Air Bud movies usually.
Yes, yeah.
They put a little effort into making the face have some sort of emotion. In this, usually the dog's falling asleep.
Hold up, they put effort into the dogs having emotion in this. Don't you remember all of the times they CG'd their eyes opening up super wide in a very creepy way?
I do remember. Yeah. I think this movie's supposed to be a comedy, by the way. I don't know what tells I had that it's supposed to be a comedy, but
it's definitely supposed to be. They think they're making jokes.
The main conceit of the film is that the 3 dogs, one of them keeps calling them Dogateers for no reason. And the other two dogs protest this and say, no, we're not actually, and this is stupid.
Yes. And then after about, 15 minutes of film, they drop it?
Yes. And it's just not important again until the last 2 minutes.
Time for me to leave.
Finally.
Oh, stay for Christmas.
Yes, valiant pajama man, do stay. Our castle is your castle.
Goodbye, Santa.
See you next year, Santa.
All for Bones and Bones for all.
Oh yeah, because it's the Dogateers. Hey, we just wanted to remind you, by the way, this movie, its name is Dogateers.
Is this anything? This is...
And then the only time they have the dogs, like, stand up on legs and do a thing with a sword or anything to look like a musketeer is in the post-credits scene.
It's a joke.
Where they CG the dog cutting a treat off of the tree as a musketeer.
Yeah, as a joke. So, I mean, they wanted 3 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They thought this would be funny. I'm trying to think, like, was Puss in Boots out during this time? Is that why they thought they needed to do this? Or
I feel like Puss in Boots was like 2011 or something, so that might make sense.
That might match up to when they started the idea for this movie and then started shooting it. I'm curious about that. It's not that there haven't been like 3 Musketeer kids movies before.
Sure.
And there's also the 3 Amigos, I guess, if you want to go that far.
I was totally right. It was 2011. So this could 3
be after
years
that.
afterwards. It could make sense that it's trying to cash in on that. Yeah.
Like, I'm a hack fraud, and I'm trying to make a movie that can sell to kids based on a property that is currently popular.
Yeah.
Puss in Boots seems like a good mark.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a movie before. So
I'm one of the aliens shitting my pants on Saturn or whatever.
Or whatever the fuck that was.
Whatever the hell that was.
So like, I need to have 3 dogs. One has to be a girl for SEO.
Yes. Yeah.
The buddies problem.
God. That they just have a token girl dog in the Buddyverse is so fucking funny.
Oh, what's your superpower? I'm a girl.
I'm a girl.
What's yours?
I wear pink clothes.
I have special farting powers and also football.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I do like the one that has the superpowers of girl more than the one that has the superpowers of racism.
Of rap?
Which is
and racism.
Well, no, there's 2. That's 2 of them. There's two racism superpowers. Is the problem.
That's true.
There's 2 that have that. God.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, so Dean Cain has to leave real quick because
we have to talk about this movie, right?
His boss wants him to go do a presentation to some guy he could be racist towards slightly.
Oh, not slightly.
So then he leaves his dogs for 2 days with no food or water.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me?
You're Dean Cain.
Well, you're Dean Cain.
In a rush. During Christmas.
Yes, but he's got to make it home before his wife finds out.
Before his old ball and chain, am I right?
Yo. Well, also...
Because his wife hates him, you get it? Because she's a woman and...
Well, it's not that she hates him, it's that he hates her.
Right.
Like, that's the secret to all of these things all the time, is that his wife seems fine. When they finally show her at the end of the movie.
She screams a lot.
Well, because they hate her.
And she's very, shrilly loud, but other than that, she's fine. Yes.
She likes him. Like...
I don't know what the problem is other than the old ball and chain, am I right, guys?
It's very much just the regular, I mean, it fits Dean Cain like a glove. Like, oh, don't you all just hate these women? How they all want to, like, do their nails, and all they do is scream and laugh and have emotions, and
I would say it more fits
that.
Dean Cain like a sock, because they
'Cause
show
of
a
his
lot
feet.
of close-ups
All
of
of his feet. God damn it. To be fair, hey, I want to give this movie its just desserts. That's not fair to say that they just showed a lot of Dean Cain feet. They showed way more Richard Riel or whatever feet than they did Dean Cain.
They do
Santa's
really like
feet.
showing Santa's feet. That's true.
And talking a lot about his bunions. They really...
Look, if you want to know more about this, Google Santa's feet right now. Just make sure you do it on, like, Bing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the good
Safe search off if you need the good stuff.
Anyway, so the only funny thing that happens in the whole movie are the commercials. The fake commercials.
The one commercial, yes.
Or the fake TV show.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, there's also the... Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, because there's the commercial, it's Christmas, and the dogs are arguing over if Santa's real. And as they're arguing, a commercial for Santa at the mall this weekend, Sunday.
Santa in person. Get your Yuletide this weekend with Santa at the mall. He's at the mall. He's at the mall.
Merry Christmas. This is Santa wishing all you folks a very special Christmas. Come on down to the mall.
It cuts the dog looking bored as shit during this.
I'll be waiting.
Santa is at the mall. He's at the mall. At the mall. Santa
What
is
the
at the mall.
fuck
Santa
is
is at the mall.
This commercial is meant for educational purposes.
Okay. And the dogs are like, God, I wonder where Santa is.
Let's say this man in red pajamas really exists. Just where are we going to find him?
Santa is at the mall.
It's kind of amazing.
And I'm like, that's... As he's like twerking and flossing in the background.
And they just put like text every single time that they say mall or Santa.
Yeah.
That text pops up on the commercial, so much so that the whole screen is just like layered text on layered text on layered text with like an occasional glimpse of a twerking Santa in the background. It's fucking
I don't want to give them
amazing.
Too much credit, but they were cooking.
They were cooking with that one.
They were cooking. And speaking of cooking, there was also a dog cooking show where they're making trash stew with all your favorite ingredients, like half-chewed slippers and diarrhea or whatever. I don't remember all the
dirty diaper, and then eventually essence of dog ass.
Essence of dog ass, specifically essence of dog butt, with a label that says essence of dog butt, and you put like a drop in, and now it tastes like dog ass. And the dogs are like, hell yeah. That's my shit.
Also, so is Santa at the end
Santa's
once he has
like,
enough of the edibles.
Oh man, they got toilet water?
Ooh, toilet water. God damn. Yeah, he's having a time.
The only good joke. The only good jokes. But okay, so
now let's talk about all the bad jokes.
It's a dog movie.
Oh boy, is it ever.
What do we need in a dog movie? We need bumbling burglars. That has to be in there. It's a Christmas movie, too, so it's also Home Alone. Right?
Yeah, sure. This is exactly like Home Alone.
So these two burglars show up, and the dogs, who are very brave, do the most brave thing they could think of, which is to hide and run away and not interact with the film in any way.
Correct.
And the burglars are wandering in, and they see Christmas presents and a tree, and the only thing they think is, let's take those Christmas presents and that Christmas tree.
And not like the TVs or the computers.
Not the TVs or anything else that's actually valuable in the home. Just whatever these mystery boxes are.
Yeah, that'll be where all the money is.
And the whole time, they're just having the fucking weirdest conversation about how awful they smell and how they don't shower and they smell like mold.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck that was.
I think that they thought they were doing a joke. Because they're basically trying to make it like these burglars are always having a conversation like, is water actually wet? Well, no, because water is already wet, so like that doesn't make any sense that it would be wet. The water is something that it does to like it's that, but
yeah,
it's literally about how the one guy smells.
It's about how much he smells, how one of them has a dog, so they're gonna steal the dog gifts to give to their dog.
Yeah.
And then about how they're narrating everything that's happening in a meta way.
Oh my god. This part, that killed me in this movie. That was maybe the worst thing.
Like, they can't just let a joke lie, even if it's a bad joke. They have to explain it and talk about it and tell you.
Yes. And also, they do that with, like, just every character is constantly expositing at the screen what their motivations and why they're doing things are. Like you said, with this one, how they go and they're like, oh, look, it's all dog toys. Should we steal those? Yeah, I have a dog. Let's steal those too. Like, they're trying to explain why the thieves are doing the things they're doing by just having them constantly say why they're doing it out loud, to the point where every phone conversation in this movie, they don't get anybody to voice the other end. They just go, wah, 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 and the person,
they don't want to pay an actor to do the voice, yeah.
Yes, and the person on the other line, like when there's the dog catcher later in the film, who we'll get to, is talking. He goes, yes, boss, I know. I'm going to catch all those dogs. I want to break the world record too. Yes, I know that so-and-so caught 999 dogs, but I'm going to catch 1,000. I just need 3 more. That's why I'm going after these 3 dogs. So, boss, no, I'm going to get the 1,000 dogs. I promise. See, I really want it. That's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want more than anything. That's my motivation as a character. Oops, sorry, shouldn't have said that part. I'm in a movie. Bye. Like, it's fucked.
He does that same call about the 1,000 dog like 3 times.
3 times. 3 fucking times he does that.
In case you forgot. Scene. In case you forgot.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that problem. Absolutely. It's just not a movie in the way it's written.
No.
It's just frustrating. But it does have Santa at the mall. At the mall.
Santa at the mall. Where is he? At the mall? Mall.
Yeah.
It feels like a Tim and Eric sketch out of
It does feel like a Tim and Eric sketch. They were cooking.
They were cooking. For like 5 seconds.
Yeah. So, the 3 dogs, by the way, we haven't said their names. It's Barkos, Wagos, and Artemis. Is that a joke? Fuck? Is that anything? Did we do it? It's funny jokes. So the dogs get into the back of the van of the burglars who are stealing their presents. Mm-hmm. They get caught because they shit and fart and make nasty smells.
Yeah. Which
is very funny. I am a man who has a good, sensible chuckle at a fart. You know what I'm saying? And then I guess they get caught by the burglars who like throw them.
Well, they don't get caught by the burglars. The burglars like open the door and the dogs run out, and then they just run away.
How do they end up in the desert? They're just there.
That's just where they find themselves. Yeah, they're just in the desert. The burglars went to the desert, and they just are in the desert.
Yeah, so like 20 minutes into the movie, a Christmas movie, supposedly. Yes. We're just in the desert, wandering around in somewhere that is not Christmassy for the whole rest of the film until the end.
Pretty much, yep. And
it just drops the Christmas shit immediately.
Well, it also drops the whole burglar plot immediately.
And the burglar plot, yeah.
Because,
like, and the Musketeers, yeah.
Yeah, as you said, how the dogs, you're like, oh, they did them, the thing that interacted with the movie the most. They hid in a closet, so they didn't have to interact with burglars, and then hid in their van, where they didn't have to interact with burglars. And then they left the van, and didn't interact with burglars.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still plot Question mark. And now they're just out in the desert.
They are just wandering around in the desert until they wander upon the Riddle Prairie Dog.
Oh fuck!
Because they move from a desert to the plains of the Midwest at some point. I don't know why or how.
I don't know.
But there's a prairie dog whose only shtick is that he does jokes from a children's joke book. Like, the bad ones.
Yeah. I feel like this part, they're trying really hard to do the, like, I thought in your general direction. Like, they're trying to do that Monty Python bit, but they also don't know what a joke is.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at. So it's just them talking at each other.
What do you call it when a dog gets a bad haircut? A rough cut. And then the movie goes on.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's no reaction to the joke. It's just... Okay.
No. Like, when I said they talk at each other, I mean that. Because basically the dogs go, hey, do you know where we can find Santa? And he goes, do you know where a dog gets its haircut? The Barker.
Bob Barker.
And then they go, oh, so you don't know where Santa is? And he goes, do you know that dog like bones? Oh, well, we're looking for Santa. And then they just leave.
Have you seen my liver recipe?
Yes.
It's that again.
It's that again.
Just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
It's just dogs talking bullshit to each other in the desert for a fucking hour.
So then Karen and her husband almost run over the dogs after they're arguing over which are better, cats or dogs.
Oh yeah, it just cuts to other people.
To a fisheye lens.
Uh-huh.
For some reason. And then after Karen almost runs over the dogs, she gets so mad at them being in the middle of the road, in the middle of this prairie.
Desert. It's like New Mexico desert, and then it's prairie, and then it's back to New Mexico desert.
It keeps changing location. Yeah, so she gets so mad she calls the dog catcher, who's trying to get the 1,000th dog for the year for the world record, so Guinness can come. And after he pays them a small fee, and then he can show off his world records, some of which are just the same world record, but older ones, but he hides them in the back.
Okay, stop with the Tommy Tallarico jokes. Nobody knows about Tommy Tallarico. I know that there's no... Listen, just because the movie jumps from scene to scene doesn't mean our podcast is allowed to do it, boys.
I can do what I want. So then, the dog catcher goes after the dogs, who at the same time decide to do crime.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to break into a mobile home in the middle of the desert because they smell chow mein, I guess.
I just want to note that my note at this point, I was just looking at my notes and I saw this and I thought, wait, when did this happen? And then you said it and I was like, oh yeah, it was here. I was all dog crime and all boring.
It's so boring.
It's all boring.
They're talking to each other for like 2 minutes. How are we going to break in? I don't know. That door looks pretty sturdy. Well, what if we just went around? What if we unlocked the door? What if we just kicked it? And nothing's happening. They're doing crime in the most boring way. And then suddenly...
Yes, there was a brief moment of fun here.
Because they're talking about all the clever ways they can break in. And then suddenly, I think it's Artemis.
Yes.
The Chihuahua dog, just like, or whatever that dog is, just picks up a rock and throws it through a window.
Fake dog suddenly.
And like, okay, kind of funny because it's so sudden and stupid.
And there's been nothing else happening for 45 minutes, so you're just kind of like, ha, he broke that window.
Ha! And then, so they break in, they eat all the chow mein, leftover chow mein, in this abandoned
trailer.
And then they're watching Santa at the mall on the TV in the trailer.
Yes.
And they're like, we need to find out where the mall is. So let's open up our dog laptop that we also have. Somehow.
Yeah, they find a laptop in the thing.
And they plan to go on MapQuest that they call PupQuest, which again, MapQuest I think MapQuest was dead before 2014.
I would think so.
MapQuest is like a 2005.
Yeah, I never
website.
used MapQuest. Yeah,
it died way before. But as they're accidentally clicking around looking for MapQuest, they pull up a porn chat with a cat on the other end.
Yeah, they definitely do that. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, a naked cat. And the cat's like, dogs. So you still paying, or we still doing this?
Accidentally get into a chatterbait with a cat, which...
What the fuck is that?
Is the implication that the owner of the trailer had a chatterbait for cats open?
Was that review that said this movie gave them a boner 5 out of 5. So, I mean, maybe?
Yeah, there are people.
So the dogs go to MapQuest and print off the, like, city rug that every child had in the 90s.
Yes. It's very much the, like, put all of your Hot Wheels on this track.
Mm-hmm. Which is almost a joke, except it isn't.
Except it's not. It's just that they didn't know how to make an actual map, and so they just faked one, but in the worst way.
It looks dumb. So the dog catcher catches up to them and starts banging on the door of the trailer. And he's like, I know you have 3 dogs in there. I am the Nazi dog catcher. I will get you.
Yeah, this is like the lowest effort Nazi dog catcher ever.
Gilbert Gottfried was a very...
Yes. If you're gonna have Hitler, let it be Gilbert Gottfried.
This was a role made for Gilbert Gottfried. They couldn't
book him.
Anyway, so the dogs break out of one trailer and somehow teleport and come out of another trailer.
Yeah.
And then they hotwire a station wagon in the most boring way possible.
Yeah, because, like, they do a spin out, like, with the guy on the windshield and then slam on the brakes so he falls off.
Yeah.
Except they do it at such low speeds. So the whole point of that is that if you slam on the brakes, they would slide off of it from the momentum, right? So that means they would be going forward or backwards based on how you've been driving, right? Like you wouldn't go off the side of the sedan is my point. He rolls off the windshield because they're going so slow.
They're in reverse. So if they just slam on the brake, he's just going to slide up the windshield.
Correct.
He's not going to go over the car. They're not going fast enough. So even the direction they're going doesn't make sense for what he does.
No, none of it does. Because, like, again, they're going so slow that he has to fake it and roll sideways off the windshield.
Here's another reference. So we were talking about Gilbert Gottfried from Highway to Hell. Highway to Hell has another scene like this, where somebody's on the windshield.
Yes.
And they're having a chase. And he's like, oh, give me a scoop of your brain. And it ends in a fascinating way where he, like, flies off, like, 30 feet. Mm-hmm. And then the guy gets out of the car with a shotgun and blasts a hole in him. Like, yeah, ice cream one-liner. And then gets back in.
Yeah.
In this movie, they're backing up at 5 miles per hour. The guy kind of rolls off the side, and then they just pull out and go somewhere else.
Yep. And then we get a chase sequence with their station wagon and the guy driving a van. And from Boyce's look, he's very upset that
it's a very low-effort chase sequence.
Which is what I was going to say, because I don't think that they ever hit 10 miles an hour.
No. They show scenes of I think it's Artemis, who's our, like, main dog, driving the car, as Barkos is on the accelerator, and Wagos is being a girl dog.
Yeah.
I guess. But, so, they're driving very low speed on the highway, and then they take a very low speed detour to a dirt road, where they very low speeds do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I found pretty bad, I was trying to figure out if there was somebody in, like, a dog costume that was driving in some of the scenes, because they have actual, like, a stunt driver.
Sure, yeah. They obviously have somebody driving the car.
They could have done it in a funny way where they do like a shaggy dog and it's just a human, but it cuts to the dog driving and they go back and forth like that when they need the stunt driver, but it's just a guy.
Yeah, it's just a dude in the car.
Super boring. It's
very obvious that it's just a dude in the car.
It's so bad. So they eventually lose the dog catcher, I guess. I don't know how they get rid of him.
Oh god, how did they...
They threw marbles and a banana peel at him.
Oh yeah.
And caused him to swerve on the dirt road like it's Mario Kart.
Yes.
That's what it was. And then afterwards they drive to the mall, which isn't even a mall.
No,
it's a Walmart.
It's just very obviously a Walmart parking lot.
They're in the parking lot of a Walmart shooting illegally. So it's
free to shoot at Walmart.
I'm pretty sure you have to pay to shoot at Walmart. If you're gonna shoot footage, you have to pay.
Not if you do crime. I mean,
sure.
I thought that earlier too. They have like during the chase sequence, like a couple of the chase sequences in here, they have them on like a 1-lane highway, but on both sides like illegally. And I'm sure they just found an abandoned stretch of road and just shot it fast and got out.
Yeah,
I
don't think they shut that road down.
There's no way they got the permits. There's no fucking way.
So, in front of the Walmart parking lot, the 3 Dogateers see the burglars selling their Christmas presents outside of their van, just in the parking lot. And
as burglars do.
As a man who has enjoyed some good tamales from a parking lot trunk, I understand. But I wouldn't buy pre-wrapped presents that I don't know what they are. That's a mystery box.
I mean, haven't you ever gone to like Home Depot and bought the mystery bucket?
Is that like a prepper thing?
No, they actually do that. Have you never seen those? Okay. No, they actually have mystery buckets at like every year.
I don't want a gachapon for Christmas from Home Depot.
Yeah, when they're doing clearance, they put out like mystery buckets and they just have like those 2-gallon pails and they're like $20 mystery contents, and you just buy it and it's full of shit. It's just
if it had like a 12-foot skeleton in it, maybe. But no.
But yeah, it's all just pure convenience. It's just like
coincidence.
how do we wrap up this plot that had absolutely no bearing on what any of the main characters have been doing? Hey, remember the Dean Cain's in this movie as like the main character? Oh hey, well anyway, forget about that.
I can't find any of the shooting locations that they had listed online for this movie, but I'm almost positive of where this specific Walmart, because they do, I don't know the exact city, but I know the state.
Sure.
Because the prairie dog thing is very prairie Midwest, so that's going to cut it down to a Dakota or a Montana.
Yeah.
And then the license plate on their van is a North Dakota license plate, which only a dumb idiot from North Dakota would know. As a dumb idiot from North Dakota. So I'm like, okay, that question's like, I want to say this was I want to say this is a Wisconsin movie or something like that. It's definitely Midwest
somewhere where it's cheap to shoot and you can go onto some dirt roads and unused highways and shoot for free.
But they drove to some North Dakota Walmart on the way back.
Yes.
from their prairie dog hole shot, and they're like, just shoot quick. We'll get out of here quick.
Do it quick.
Anyway, so the Dogateers see a security officer outside the Walmart, and they bite his leg. Not for any anti-cop reason.
No, but for a pro-cop reason.
Yeah, to lead him to the burglars, who he's like, oh, you're selling Christmas presents out of your van in the Walmart parking lot? That seems illegal. No, sir, this is all above board. Oh, what's this then? And he pulls out a crowbar. Which is not illegal to own. You could have a crowbar. And that's not even evidence of them stealing anything. It's just a crowbar.
The best part about that is that I would assume the crowbar is like the only thing that's not stolen.
Yeah.
Like that's
right?
their crowbar. So it's like the least incriminating thing in the entire van.
Yeah. So then the burglars like run away, but he takes all their presents and takes it to the lost and found later and says they're stolen. That's lost and found. Somebody's gonna find this.
Yes. He's also not even a mall security. He's a sheriff.
Is he?
Yes. No, he wasn't mall security. I said that at the time. He's sheriff. He's a sheriff. He has a sheriff. Sure. Yeah, no. He's an official police officer. And his solution to finding stolen goods is not to put them into evidence or anything else. It's to bring them to the lost and found. Why does he bring them to the lost and found? Well, kids, it's very simple, you see. Plot convenience.
It's convenient.
It's
because
convenient.
The dogs also found Santa at the mall. The mall. It's Santa
at the mall? With
the mall.
Santa? The mall.
And Santa's very high on edibles.
Oh, he's so fucked up this whole movie. I feel like the actual actor was just like, I'm just gonna fucking smoke a doobie and you guys just tell me when it's my lines.
You were smoking in my mansion all alone? I mean, I could have just came out here? What the?
Bob Hoskins would have been a great Santa for this.
So then Santa takes the dogs to the lost and found. Is like, hey, these are lost dogs. And they meet some weirdo who's really into googly eyes and talks to a parrot, and I don't know what the fuck the joke is.
I know that just constantly I have a couple of notes that I don't remember exactly what they mean. But
yeah, most of my notes are just, is this anything?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say, is there was a lot of times we went, is this anything? Is this a joke? Is this a thing?
Yeah.
Because, like, when you're talking, it sounds like it's a joke, him talking to parrots, but it's just him sitting there going, I'm the lost and found guy. Hey, Frank, stop talking to me. Look up at the parrot.
Like, he has a quirk, but there's no reason for the quirk. And it doesn't lead to anything.
Like, there's no energy or anything to it either. The one way that they try and instill humor and energy into these scenes, which we didn't mention a whole lot, you mentioned it a bit with the Karen scene in the car, the random lady trying to run over the dogs, to which we cheered the whole time, like, please kill him, please kill him, please kill him.
Oh, they missed.
Fisheye lens.
That's the joke, is fisheye lens.
The joke is fisheye lens. If they put it in fisheye lens, it's really funny. Look at how weird and distorted this guy's face is. He's doing it into a fisheye lens. Wow.
If you think about it, this movie is very surreal with its imagery at times. And
fuck off.
It goes off into the deep end of what some would call comedy. And
the deep end where all the fish live, because it's all fisheye.
Do you get it? Because it's highbrow filmmaking entertainment, and is a film critic. Anyways, so the lost and found guy just fucking leaves. So then Santa's like, well, I guess I gotta take you home. Somebody's gotta do it.
Well, and I might as well take all these stolen goods, too, at the same time.
So he steals all the presents and the tree and puts it into the trunk of his car, which is red. Yeah. Which is supposed to be a joke that it's a sleigh, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
But it's like a Pinto.
And he starts driving off, and then the dog catcher catches up to him, conveniently. And the dog catcher's trying to, like, run him off the road, tell him to pull over. So then Santa has had enough of this shit. He's like, oh, Santa's gonna have to teach this motherfucker a lesson.
Time for some Christmas presents.
And he gets out and starts, like, pulling up his
here.
sleeves. He's like, I got 2 guns right here, motherfucker. Teach you some manners.
And then the dog catcher smokes him with a fucking shovel.
In a non-comedic way.
Also, they don't show it.
No, it's in like a slasher way.
They cut away from it.
If you're gonna do physical comedy, you have to do the physical.
You have to show it. Yeah. You can't just fuck. It's the only thing where I was like, oh man, he's gonna hit him with the shovel, and then they just cut away, and you hear a ding, and you're like, no, like you had a chance to do one fucking thing.
Yeah, but the dogs get thrown in cages at the dog catcher's
underground
dungeon,
yeah.
I guess. And then Wagos, the girl dog, pulls out her hair clip and just picks the lock, but her lock is a key lock.
And everyone else's is padlock.
And everybody else is a padlock bike lock.
It's a combination lock on every
It's a combination lock. So she picks her lock with the hairpiece, and then just does the combination for the other two.
So good. It's so good how stupid this is. Like, everything is just convenience. Everything is just convenience.
Why would they have the dog pick the lock? You can't pick.
Why not just use 3 padlocks? Why not just use 3 keyed padlocks?
It's because they had these 3 and they weren't going to buy 2 more to match the joke.
And this is why I said there's no way their budget is that high.
Man. And then, yeah, it cuts to the dog catcher on his knees screaming at the world up into space until the aliens fart. Exactly.
Yes.
But
he screams so loud that he makes aliens shit their pants on Saturn. Is this a joke? Is this anything?
Is this a joke?
Is this a thing? Should we put it in the movie? Does it extend the time to 1 hour and 30 minutes? Yeah? Alright, put it in.
Yeah, okay. God, they really extend the time even at the beginning, too, because they do like 3 or 4 false starts to the film.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so Santa takes them home after looking them up in the phone book, presumably, because all he had was a name.
Yep.
I guess. And then he breaks into their house.
Well, and he has... Well, hold up, we should mention how he got the name.
Oh, it was just on the back of a photo that they had in their stolen Christmas gifts.
Yeah, the burglar stole a framed family photo of them, and that framed family photo happened to have their name and stuff on the back of the fucking photo.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Convenient.
So he breaks into their house, sets up all their presents, sets up their stockings, sets up their tree, takes an edible, watches television.
A few edibles and watches some dog cooking.
Really wants to drink that fancy toilet water they showed on the infomercial.
Man, I would have an edible and watch that fucking dog cooking show any day of the week.
And then as he's leaving, Dean Cain comes back along with his wife, and he's like, "Look at all the presents! It's Christmas now." Remember
Dean Cain's in this movie. Remember that this is the plot of the movie, is that he's supposed to be getting back before Christmas. We just haven't seen him in 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Did Dean Cain save Christmas? I don't think so. But you know what did save Christmas? Santa's edibles. Because as he's driving away, he's swerving left and right all over the road.
Yes.
And then he just takes off into the sky, but he's doing like loop-de-loops and S's and shit. And he's not going anywhere.
No.
And then they end on the 88 mile per hour fucking DeLorean flying at the screen joke. Quote unquote.
Joke. Yeah.
It's such a lazy fucking movie. Or some would say, an instant cult classic, and it cured my leukemia. Yeah.
God, the way that they finally have the wife show up, where she's been that on the phone like twice, and then all of a sudden she's at the house, and she's like, "Oh, I love you so much. You're such a great husband. It's so nice to be home for Christmas." She seems fine. She's sweet.
Yeah.
But then, of course, he's like, "Oh, this fucking ball and chain." And they have to make her so obnoxious by just having her laugh, but going like, and like do like a stupid laugh. Why? This movie just hates women and all kind. Like, it's just so gross in so many ways. Same with, there is a brief, quick scene of Dean Cain having to go to a meeting for sales.
That's true. Yeah,
where,
to sell his ties. Yeah,
he's trying to sell ties, and it's a Japanese guy that he's selling to. So of course they play fucking like
a
generic Asian music over top of the start of it.
And when he leaves.
And then when he leaves to show. Yeah. Did you know that he's Asian? Did you see that? Did you see how Asian he was? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Do you know they have different instruments over there?
Also, the girl dog does nothing but talk about classism and how she's a purebred dog and they're all mutts.
Mm-hmm.
And what the fuck was that about? There was no point.
I think the point was that they were able to fill a lot of airtime with the dogs just nattering at each other, and that made it to 1 hour and 30. So you gotta put it in the film.
Yeah, that's true.
This one feels more than most of, all right, well, we're at 1 hour, so what do we put in the film? I don't know, some shit. All right, let's just have them talk about farting in space. Should we throw an alien
something
in there?
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
I'm trying to figure out if they spitballed ideas or if they just did them. just didn't have a script and just fucking ran with whatever they thought of.
I'm guessing that a lot of this was done... So, I mean, so much of this movie is 3 dogs that are sitting still in a room.
As the mouth
no
flaps.
movement. As the mouth flaps CG. I wonder, like you said, how much of it is just the voice actors for those dogs sitting in a studio and them just saying, I don't know, talk about Santa now. And just having them do random lines like improv.
Oh, like they didn't tell them what the scene was for.
Pretty much. Like, I mean, just... Because, I mean, so much of the scenes are just disconnected. You made a joke more than a couple times, like, hey, Lois, remember that one time? Like, they constantly do that kind of Family Guy shit of just, let's just throw a random thing in here. That's a joke, maybe?
It makes the movie longer.
And I feel like, yeah, there's probably a good chance that a lot of it was just unscripted ad-libs, which is why it's so unfunny.
Just like the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot. Anyways, this movie made $3 million at the box office. We're hack fraud idiots. We have no idea what the hell we're talking about. Let's rate those dogs.
I don't know anything about how to make money or movies because apparently you can do this.
Apparently you just do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter.
And make money at it. You can be your own Hollywood.
Alright, Barkos. Barkos is like the floopy-eared dog that eats and shits.
Yeah, it really fucking threw me that the movie was called The 3 Dogateers, and I knew that it wouldn't go that hard into it in a way, but when the first spoken lines of the movie are, hey, I really like to eat down some of them down-home good beans
Southern
so
boy.
I can fart,
yeah.
And you're like, wait, this is one of the Dogateers?
Yeah, he's a good old boy, you know? Barkos, I would give a shitting in the back of a van so bad it makes you stop the car out of 10.
Well, that's not fair. You've got to describe what it smelled like. I feel like I need to rate him a biscuits and gravy out of 10, because that's they said his ass smell was.
There's Wagos, the girl dog, whose power is she's a girl dog, and likes classism, like Beverly Hills Chihuahua. This dog sucks for a lot of reasons, and I don't think it's her fault.
No, she thinks she's a lot better than all the other dogs.
Yeah.
And she's right. So I'm going to give her a 13 out of 10 because she's better than all the other dogs.
Better than the other dogs out of 10, at least, yeah. And then Artemis, our Chihuahua-ish dog.
Yeah, like I think it's like one of those like the Chinese Pekin, like what are
something
those?
Like that, yeah.
Like the hairless ones. Like it's like a mix of a few things like that. It's a weird fucked up mutt. They got a weird looking dog. They got a weird dog.
The only way I can describe Artemis is they did a scene where Artemis was sitting on top of a Roomba, and the Roomba would constantly go the wrong direction, and then off screen he'd be like, "No, go left. No, right. No." And it was wildly unfunny and way too drawn out. And I would give this dog a Peter Griffin out of 10, is where I'm going with this.
Is this anything?
Yeah. Is this anything? Is this episode anything? Did we do it? Are we just... I guess that's the episode.
If you want to support this anything, you can find us on social media. We're Rough Cuts Cast. We're roughcutscast@gmail.com if you want to send us an email.
And Rough Cuts on Blue Sky and co-host. Yeah.
Yes, we're Rough Cuts on Patreon if you want to actually support us. 'Cause this movie would have cost us $4. Although we did Tubi it.
But bless Tubi. Tubi broke 7 times. Bless Tubi.
Bless Tubi. And, God, yeah, you can find us on Co-Host or Blue Sky, where we're Rough Cuts. I don't have anything. I wrote down Santa, aliens, and shit. Is this a movie?
The one thing I know for sure is that Santa's going to be at the mall later today, and I need to go online and find directions, because I haven't been to a mall in at least a decade. Okay, and if Santa's going to be there...
But Boyks, just make sure that you close my private tab first. You don't want to see the cat stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'll make sure not to take video evidence and then upload it.
Please don't take a look at my pussy first.
Yeah, no, I won't. Okay, yeah. What?
Is this anything? Yeah, someone in this movie has delusions of grandeur, and it's not Dean Cain. Okay, well, it's also Dean Cain,
it's both.
But like,
yeah,
it's there's a second person.